What's going on, Jason?
It's probably one of the craziest things I think I've ever seen. I've been through the, Gary Triano bombing. I've gone through the, seen the Elizabeth Salas case, but nothing quite like this. But I will also say it takes a lot of cojones for the sheriff's officer to be at the U of A basketball game last night instead of doing his job. I think it's pretty disgusting. I understand people need a break, but this is not the time nor the place to do that.
So how long have you been living here?
I've been living in Tucson for about 36 years.
And you live around here?
I live about 15 minutes
Okay,
from here.
15 minutes. So what do you think happened here? As you being a Tucson resident, what's your gut telling you?
My gut is telling me that it's the brother-in-law, or the son-in-law.
Son-in-law. Why?
Just too many things. He had pictures. There was a picture or two that came out, and you haven't seen him since. You haven't heard from him.
Radio silent.
The other people have, the family, Savannah and, her brother and sister have done things. He hasn't been involved in any of it. And I don't know if he's trying to stay away from the limelight or what it is, but I can tell you this, it's very suspicious to me.
I mean, would just a random stranger come up through here and just target a 84-year-old woman?
This was planned.
Planned.
That's my gut. It's not just random. I think it was something that, and like they say, the first people that you need to talk to is the family members. And they haven't, as far as I know, they haven't spoken to a lot of people except for, Savannah and a couple of, the brother and sister. But that's just my take.
As you being a Pima County resident of the Tucson area, do you have confidence in Sheriff Nanos?
I do not, especially after last night.
Especially after last night. So what, like last night, you saw him at his images were at the basketball game.
He was at the U of A basketball game last night. And, like I said, there's a time and place. You want to go to a game 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago before this happened, or you want to go to a game that's, 3 weeks or 4 weeks from now. But don't go during, like, the prime time of a major national investigation.
On top of Savannah gave a plea back out to the kidnappers around the same time he's at a game.
Yes.
Like, what is going on with that? That's weird. What a lot of people say, But also, in fairness, some people say that might have been deliberate. He did that to lure the other people to act or do something, or the other person making the kidnappers or kidnapper feel like, oh, well, the sheriff's not on me. No big deal.
If the sheriff's
the optics
not
is
on
bad.
you, if the sheriff's not on you, you have a thing called the FBI that is. So yeah, you want to take time to get away. I understand that, but the game was at 2:00 in the afternoon. Okay, he had plenty of time before and plenty of time even after.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he's been out here except maybe 1 or 2 times. But, I think that it's smart and it's a good idea that technically the lead should be the FBI now, because this is a huge FBI issue. And I think that the sheriff's department needs to kind of, work with them, but kind of take a step back. And there's a lot of people that I have talked to and that I have seen stuff online. And, social media, people say things that shouldn't be said. People say things that should be said. But I think that a lot of people, there's a lot of backlash that he went to the basketball game last night. So I did at one point have faith in him but this is the second incident that has happened where on Monday he dropped the ball. They opened up the house, they opened up the property for everybody to come into, which should never have happened.
Some people say that's crime scene contamination.
Yeah.
Contamination.
And it very well could be
Compromise.
because you're allowing everybody to walk up to the very front of the door to see where that Ring doorbell was.
And the blood.
With blood sitting there. It should never have been opened back up for anybody. To this day, it should be just closed off. I'm not saying media shouldn't be here because I think it's the most important thing. They're doing their job. So that's just my take.
I think this will be solved soon. Based off what you've been seeing, what you saw here today, with them at the manhole. Last night they're at the son-in-law and Annie's home.
I think that it's gonna get solved, but it's gonna be one of those, everything is tight-lipped right now. There's a lot of things that the nation doesn't know. There's a lot of things that are kept quiet, which I do understand to a point. It's a waiting game. And if when the news does break, whoever it is, one person, two people, whatever it is, then everybody will get their answer. But I think that it will get solved. It's just a matter of time and when. This is the third time or fourth time that the sheriff's department has been out and investigators have been out to this scene. So, and from what I'm hearing, it's somewhat normal because they might have missed something or, whatever it is. But I think it's very odd that it's taken 3 times or 4 times to come out here to, and I understand they get tips. And one tip leads to this and one tip leads to that. And that's why last night they were out here. They were out here again today, obviously. So, and I don't know what they're looking for. I honestly, truly don't know what they're looking for. They had taken off a camera. I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before, when they got on the FBI was on the roof of and I believe it's a guest house, is from what I've seen on the news. It's a guest house. But wouldn't you have thought when they did the initial investigations that they would have seen this camera? So, I don't know. There's a lot of a lot of moving parts, but things I feel like are missing.
Gotcha. Well, I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Hey,
As
you're
a
welcome.
Tucson resident.